G'day there champs. Now today I will be reviewing the Dell XPS 15 9570. This video is brought to you by my Patreon page. If you like my content and you want to be a champ and support the channel, head on down to my Patreon page and become a patron. Links are in the description. The Dell XPS 15 has been pretty much my laptop for the last 2 years. It's the laptop that most suited my needs. I think it's been the best premium 15-inch laptop for the last few years. So now there's a new model, the 9570, with 8th generation Intel 6-core CPUs. And there's a whole lot of these laptops coming out with these 8th generation 6-core CPUs. So will it retain its crown as the best 15-inch premium laptop? Well, let's find out. Now it looks very familiar. It's exactly like the last XPS 15 model, except they've changed the color now. This is a new like platinum sort of pewter color. It's very nice. It does make it look a bit more updated. With just that color change, it's actually quite amazing. It does, of course, have a new motherboard because it has a new chipset in there, new display, and definitely those speakers are new. The sound is really good on this one. Not to mention all the new internals it has. It starts at $999 US. And this fully loaded one here is $2,899 US. In Australia, this same model will cost you $3,099, and in the UK, it'll probably cost more or less the same amount of pounds as it does US dollars. Now, of course, you can get many configurations. You can get configurations without a graphics card. You can get configurations with a small battery, a 2.5-inch hard drive. You can get i5 CPUs, i7, i9s, and also you can get the GTX 1050 Ti. But this model here has an i9-8950 HK CPU, 32GB of 2666 MHz DDR4, 1TB SSD, a 4K touch display. It's an IGZO panel, 100% Adobe RGB. There also is a full HD option, and that is not touch. And the graphics are powered by a GTX 1050 Ti with 4GB of RAM and a 97 watt-hour battery. Looking at it, it's the same design you know and love. Premium CNC machined aluminium, that new platinum color really does make it look a bit more modern. The build quality is really good. The fit and finish is also good. When you open it up, you get that carbon fiber deck and that infinity edge display that everyone's doing now, but they were the first ones to do that. So it's still bang on, looks very modern, and the build quality is right up there. Now this would compete with the MacBook Pro, Aero 15, Razer Blade 15-inch, or an MSI GS65. I'd say the Razer Blade and the MSI are sort of more gamer. The Aero 15 does have an option for 100% Adobe RGB display and also calibrated by X-Ray. So I would say the Aero and the MacBook Pro would be its closest competitors, being more of a content creation premium 15-inch laptop. But forget about the MacBook Pros for now. Wait until the refresh, and I will be comparing it to the Aero 15X very soon. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you subscribe. And if you like these videos, please give me a thumbs up or tell me I'm a knob down there in the comments. It comes in at 17mm thick, weighs 4 pounds, 1.8 kilos. That's the starting weight, and that's with the small battery. If you get the fully loaded one with the touch display, it's 4.5 pounds and 2 kilos. That's with the big battery. So it is a small premium package that houses very powerful hardware, and it's pretty much one of the smallest 15.6-inch laptops going around. You can actually fit it in a 13-inch sleeve. And the great thing about this being the same as the last generation XPS 15 is you get all the ports. So the left-hand side, you have USB 3.1, HDMI 2.0 now, Thunderbolt 3, with 4 lanes, headphone microphone combination jack. On the right hand side, you have the power indicator buttons and lights, USB 3.1 Type A, and a full-size SD card slot, which is very fast too. It reads my cards at 150 megabytes per second, and that's actually the speed of my card. It does stick out a little bit, but at least it has it there. So thank God for that. Now, I haven't actually been told anything about the sound being upgraded, but the sound is really good. Max Audio Pro 2x2 watt speakers, movies sound good. It's not up to the MacBook Pro level in terms of sound, but they are very good speakers on this now. I'm very happy with them. The keyboard is the same, feels exactly the same. It's going to be personal preference with keyboards, but I don't think there's anyone that's going to hate this keyboard. It's got a nice amount of travel. I do like it. And the trackpad just makes it very usable. One of the best Windows trackpads, pretty much Microsoft. This trackpad on this XPS 15 and maybe some Lenovo trackpads. They're the only trackpads that I can probably edit video with. Something like the Aero 15X, I could not edit video with that trackpad. So it makes it very usable as a day-to-day laptop, which is not something to sneeze about. Those little things do matter and add up. When it comes to displays, they don't get any better than this. When people say that this has a gorgeous display, they're not lying. When you see this display, you'll be blown away. Now I'm talking about the 4K 100% Adobe RGB display, 400 nits of brightness, so it is brighter now. It has a new reflective coating and actually uses less power. So that's fantastic. There's not much more I can say about this display. Viewing angles are superb. The clarity is outstanding. Everything about this display is top drawer, and you won't find one better. Great for a content creator. It's a touchscreen as well. They also have a full HD model. I don't think it's matte anymore, but it does have an anti-reflective coating on that as well. With that full HD display, you will get killer battery life. So pick which one's appropriate for you. When it comes to the battery, you have two options. You have the 97 watt hour battery, which is usually what you'll get with 4K. You also have the small battery, and that's like if you got the hard drive model, or sometimes you can actually get it without the hard drive and still have the small battery. This XPS 15 now supports connected standby, which is basically Intel's way of trying to make it like a phone. Like you close it, it's still connected to the world, but it's in a really low power state, and then you open it up, it should instantly resume. The last XPS 15 did not support that. And the battery life is absolutely out of this world for a 4K display. The last XPS 15, I'll get 6-7 hours battery. This one, 7-8. I'm getting battery runs in excess of 10 hours sometimes. Now that will depend what you're doing, but for a 4K display, that just blew my mind. And you can have a look at these battery runs here. The battery life is class leading for a 4K display, and even the Aero 15 Full HD display did not have as good as battery life as this 4K XPS 15. So that just blew my mind. And I can say now it has all day battery life. Now if you get the full HD version, it's just going to be even better again. So these 8th generation CPUs are very power efficient, along with displays that use less power, and a big battery equals great battery life. When it comes to performance, you can check out the videos at the end of this video to really see how it performs. It is the only laptop I've been able to play Cineform 8K footage at full in Premiere. That i9 really sings. It does make a difference. You're going to be playing pretty much any game 60 frames per second on high settings, 1080p, and it has heaps of power. Now you will get some thermal throttling when you're gaming, when you're loading GPU and CPU together, but it doesn't really affect the performance in terms of gaming. And when you're content creating, it's not really an issue because you're usually using either the CPU or the GPU. And I was getting the fastest render times with this XPS 15, like 10% faster than say the Aero 15X. With the i9, if you're thinking of going with the i5, I would probably get the last generation XPS 15 if you're thinking of going that way. But these 8th generation 6-core parts, i7 or i9, they are fantastic. And it makes this laptop a powerhouse. And if you want to know more about performance, check out the reviews at the end of this video. Now when it comes to upgradability, you can upgrade the RAM, SSD, hard drive, you can replace the battery, you can even replace the Wi-Fi card if you want. So that is great. So that means you can get a lower spec model and then upgrade it later. If you're talking, is the i9 worth it? I have to say for me, I would say it is worth it. But if you get the i7, you'll be very happy with that. The performance is great either way, but at least you have the option to go for a lower spec model and then upgrade most of the parts later. That's fantastic. So in conclusion, I really do love this laptop. It's up top of my list now for what I need personally, being a content creator and using a laptop day in, day out. It's just very usable. And that's what tips it over the edge to me from the Aero 15. The Aero 15X is a spec head's dream and a gamer's dream, but that's not me. I'm more of a content creator and I prefer just those small things, the usability of day-to-day usage, the great trackpad and keyboard, better battery life. It feels more premium to me and I do like the 4K display better. So for me, I would say this is at the top of the list of the 15-inch laptops. But if you were more a gamer, you probably would want to go with the Aero 15. So you want to factor in support as well. Are the other vendors' support as good as, say, Dell or Apple? I don't really think so. The only minor criticism of this laptop is it will throttle if you load the GPU and CPU. Check out all the reviews at the end of this video. I'd like to thank you for watching. Please give me a thumbs up if you like this video. And there are a lot of 8th generation laptops coming soon, so how long will it be on top of the list? We will soon see when we get the other 8th generation 15-inch laptops in. So until next time, tally ho.